My precious child, stop overthinking. I am speaking to you right now. Not tomorrow. Not after you figure it out. Now. Breathe. And notice this, the world outside may still be loud, but the war inside you is not the ruler anymore. I am here closer than your pulse, nearer than your next breath. I am not watching you from a distance with folded arms. I am present in your shaking inhale. I am present in the tightness in your chest. I am present in the way your mind keeps sprinting even when your body begs for rest. I've seen your sleepless nights. I have seen the ceiling become your witness at 2:47, 3:11, 3:58. When you replay conversations, rewrite mistakes, and imagine disasters that haven't even happened. I saw you stare at one message, one decision, one small unknown, and your thoughts multiplied it into a courtroom where you are the judge, the jury, and the one on trial. I saw you whisper, "What if I ruin everything?" and then punish yourself for even having the question. My beloved child, you are not weak because your mind is loud. You are tired because you have been carrying battles you were never meant to carry alone. And hear me gently, but with authority. Even if it feels like everyone turned their back, you are not abandoned. Even if father and mother forsake you, I will receive you. I have not forgotten your name. I have not misplaced your tears. I have not stepped away when your strength ran out. I saw David's panic when fear pressed him from every side, and I see you in the same pressure. Your heartbeat racing does not scare me. Your trembling does not repel me. Your questions do not offend me. I am not ashamed of you in the night. This is why I interrupted you. Because overthinking is not wisdom. Many times it is a false alarm wearing the mask of preparation. It speaks in your own voice, so it feels like you. But it is not the truth. It is a storm that learned your language. And I am speaking now to separate you from that storm. So listen, you do not have to fight your mind with more noise. You do not have to punish yourself into peace. Peace is not earned by exhaustion. Peace is received by surrender. And tonight, yes, even tonight, my presence is stronger than the spiral. My presence is stronger than the what if. My presence is stronger than the loop that keeps pulling you back to the same fear in a new outfit. Before we go deeper, I want you to mark this moment because the enemy hates moments like this. He fears the second you realize you can stop obeying every thought. If you can feel me near you right now, type, "I am here, Lord Bystaudian," or 7007 in the comments. Not to impress me, only to align your spirit and silence the lie that says you're alone in this. And if you want to keep this word close, if you want your feed to become a doorway instead of a trigger, like this video. As a simple act of agreement, I choose truth over the spiral. My child, I am not only calming you, I am reclaiming you. The night has tried to convince you that you are forgotten, that you are failing, that you are falling behind. But I tell you, you are being held. You are being protected. You are being gathered back into clarity. And as you stay with me, you will begin to recognize something you couldn't hear over the noise. There is a pattern in your panic. And there is a way out that does not depend on your strength. Now breathe again slowly. Let your shoulders drop 1 inch. Let your jaw unclench. Because the one speaking to you right now does not speak to entertain you. I speak to rescue you. I have watched you, my precious one, in those long, hollow hours when the world falls silent. But your mind begins to roar. I saw you lying there, staring at the ceiling in thick darkness, your eyes open with a fatigue that sleep cannot touch. You have spent nights trapped in the echo chamber of your own thoughts, replaying scenes from years ago, rewinding a sentence you wish you could rewrite, searching for the exact moment you think you took the wrong turn. I heard every heavy sigh. I counted every restless shift. I felt the tightness in your chest when the what-ifs swarmed like hornets, stinging your peace until it felt unsafe to even close your eyes. My child, I was there in every one of those moments. I was the silent witness to the tears that soaked your pillow when you thought no one was looking. And I did not turn away. It is a heavy burden to carry the if-onlys of a lifetime, isn't it? I have seen you digging through the graveyards of your past, unearthing mistakes I have already forgiven and buried in depths you cannot reach. You hold the shame of words you cannot take back. You hold the ache of opportunities you think you missed. And you let them pace the hallway of your mind like ghosts stealing breath from the present. You analyze every conversation, every look, every pause in someone's voice, convinced that if you think hard enough, you can control what happens next. But listen closely, your mind was never meant to be a courtroom where you are both the defendant and the judge. I did not create you to sentence yourself every night. You have been so hard on yourself, my beloved. You offer grace to everyone else. But you starve your own soul of the mercy I have already placed in my hands for you. You fear that if you stop thinking, everything will fall apart, as if your worry is the pillar holding up your world. But I am the one who holds the pillars of the earth in place. I am the one who keeps the stars in their courses. If I can sustain the universe without growing weary, surely I can sustain you while you rest. You do not have to solve every problem before the sun rises. You only need to surrender one breath at a time to the God who never sleeps. There is a particular pain in feeling alone in a crowded room, but there is an even deeper ache in feeling alone in your own skin. I have seen you wear a brave face in the daytime, smiling for people while your inner light flickers. I have seen you sit in your car staring at nothing because the effort of being okay suddenly felt too heavy. You fear that if people saw the chaos within you, they would turn away. But I see it all, and I am not turning away. I am drawing closer. Overthinking is not proof you are broken. It is often proof you are thirsty for safety, for certainty, for peace that the world cannot manufacture. Your mind tells you that if you stop worrying, you are being irresponsible. But worrying is not wisdom. It is an attempt to carry tomorrow without my strength. It is a quiet effort to play God in your own life. My child, loosen your grip. Let the tension in your neck soften. Let the tightness in your brow release. You are not behind, and you are not failing. You are in a season of being formed. And sometimes the forming happens in the quiet places where nobody claps, where nobody sees, where only I can reach the root. Remember this, as the silence of the night is not my absence. It is space I have allowed so you can finally hear my whisper above the shouting of your fears. When that sudden wave of panic rises, do not run from it and do not worship it. Bring it to me. I am not intimidated by your thoughts. I am not threatened by your questions. I am the God who redeems the years the locusts have eaten, and I am the God who can restore the sleep anxiety tried to steal. I can teach your body to breathe again. I can teach your soul to unclench. I can lead you out of the mental marathon and into the quiet strength of trust. And now I will speak something tender yet firm. I desire for you to hear my voice daily, not as a habit that burdens you, but as bread that nourishes you. I want to meet you here again and again, because my words do not add weight to your life. They lift it. My words steady you when the ground feels uncertain. My words guide you when your mind is foggy. My words bring peace that does not depend on circumstances and strength that does not collapse when trouble knocks. So if you want to remain under this covering, subscribe, not to follow a channel, but to stay close to my daily whisper. Let it be your spiritual agreement, Lord. I choose your voice over the noise. And when you subscribe, I will use these moments to remind you again and again that you are not alone, you are not forgotten, and you will not be swallowed by what you are thinking. I will carry you through the hard days. I will strengthen you through the difficult seasons. I will teach you how to breathe in faith and exhale fear. The dawn is coming, my precious one, and with it a new kind of strength, quiet, steady, and unshakable, because it will not be built on your control. It will be built on my presence. My child, I have seen you stand in the middle of a crowded room and still feel like you are floating untethered, like your feet are on the ground, but your heart is somewhere far away. I have watched you master the brave face, smiling at the right moments, nodding at the right words, while inside your chest a quiet voice keeps asking, does anyone actually see me? I know the sting of being misunderstood. I know what it feels like when your intentions are questioned, when your kindness is treated like weakness, when your words are twisted into something you never meant. And I have seen what you did next. You retreated, not because you wanted to disappear, but because you were trying to survive. You built a fortress of solitude because it felt safer than being disappointed again. You withdrew your hand because the last time you reached out, you were met with coldness, silence, or betrayal. I saw you wipe tears in the bathroom mirror before stepping back out to face people who had no idea how heavy your heart was. I saw you become a ghost in your own life, present in body, absent in spirit, because loneliness began to feel like armor you could not remove. But listen closely, I have been inside that fortress with you. I was not outside telling you to be strong. I was inside sitting in the quiet with you, breathing with you, holding you in ways you could not see. And hear this with authority. Your isolation is not proof you are forgotten. Sometimes it is proof you are being set apart. Not as punishment, but as protection. The enemy whispers, you're alone because you're unworthy. But I tell you the truth many times, you are alone because I am separating you from influences that would drain your calling before it ever matures. I saw who stepped back when your world shook. I saw who disappeared when you needed them. I saw the invitations dry up and the conversations fade. And I did not miss 1 second of it, not to shame you, but to show you what is real. I am the friend who stays. I am the one who does not leave when your eyes get red and your voice gets quiet. I am closer than a brother, closer than the ache in your throat when you try not to cry. Yet I also know the danger. When loneliness stays too long, it stops being a season, and it becomes a stronghold. It starts to speak in your own voice. It says, if I stay hidden, I can't be hurt. It says, if I don't hope, I can't be disappointed. It says, if I keep everyone outside, I can control the pain. My child, that is not wisdom, that is a prison dressed like protection. And I have not come to admire your walls. I have come to take them down with gentleness and power. Because to me, you are not a mess. You are a masterpiece in process. The scars you carry are not stains. They are proof you survived what should have ended you. And this quiet season, this nobody really understands, me place has been planting something inside you, compassion that is real, discernment that is sharp, and a depth that shallow people will never have. I am refining you in the silence. I am strengthening your roots in the hidden soil. I am teaching you to recognize my voice when everything else goes quiet, because soon I will place you in rooms where you must hear me above applause and criticism alike. So do not interpret this solitude as rejection. Interpret it as a sacred invitation. Meet me here. Let this fortress become a sanctuary, not a place where you disappear, but a place where you are rebuilt. I am healing the betrayal that made you suspicious. I am washing away the shame that told you you were too much or not enough. I am restoring the part of you that used to believe love could be safe. And when you emerge, you will not emerge loud, you will emerge steady. You will carry a presence that calms rooms. You will carry a peace that makes darkness uncomfortable. Stay with me, my child, because in the very next movement, I am going to expose the quiet trap that keeps most people stuck. Not loneliness, but the illusion they call preparation. And once you see it, you will recognize why your mind has been so tired and why your spirit has been craving a different kind of safety. My child, I have watched you build walls around your future and call it preparation, when in truth, it has become a cage made of thoughts. You have rehearsed disasters that never arrived. You have mapped out worst-case scenarios as if fear were wisdom. You have turned your mind into a control room, screens flickering with what if, and if only alarms blaring in your chest, believing that if you anticipate every possible failure, you will finally be safe. But I see what it has done to you. This constant mental maneuvering is not giving you an advantage. It is draining your strength before the day even begins. You are trying to solve next month with today's breath. You are trying to carry next year with this moment's shoulders. And because you cannot finish the work of tomorrow, you punish yourself for not being ready. You call it responsibility, but it is often anxiety wearing holy language. It keeps you busy, but not free. It keeps you moving, but not healed. It keeps you alert, but not alive. Let me speak plainly. There is a difference between wise planning and fearful spiraling. Wisdom listens, then obeys. Anxiety listens, then panics. Wisdom prepares what is in your hands. Anxiety tries to control what is not yours. And I have seen you stand at the edge of small decisions, an email, a call, a message, and your hand touches the choice, then pulls back, touches, then pulls back, as if one wrong click could collapse your entire life. My child, that is not caution. That is a stronghold learning your habits. So stop for a moment and do something holy without performance. Inhale slowly. Feel the air fill your lungs. You did not create that breath, I gave it. Now exhale and let that exhale carry out the self-judgment you have been feeding yourself. Release the shame of not being prepared enough. Release the lie that your worth is measured by how well you predict the storm. I command storms. You do not have to. The enemy loves over-preparation because it steals your present victories. As long as you are fighting imaginary battles tomorrow, you cannot win real battles today. You miss the quiet mercy I place in front of you, a kind smile, a moment of calm, a door that is already opening because your mind is scanning the horizon for danger. You call it being realistic, but many times it is unbelief dressed as intelligence. It is the attempt to become your own savior. But hear me. My presence is a safer shield than your calculations. Your spreadsheets cannot save you. Your rehearsals cannot rescue you. Your perfect plan cannot prevent the unexpected. Yet I am the God of the unexpected, water from rock manna in wilderness, peace in storms. And I am already in your tomorrow. I am already in that conversation you fear. I am already in that outcome you cannot control. I am not asking you to be careless. I am asking you to be anchored. So lay down the illusion that you can think your way into perfect safety. Safety is not the absence of trouble. It is the presence of your Father in the middle of it. And now, my child, we are about to go deeper. Then stop worrying. Because the trap you called preparation has a hidden engine behind it, a structure of lies that speaks with your own voice. In the next movement, I am going to show you what that structure is and how to shut off the false alarm without shutting down your life. My child, I need you to understand this with absolute clarity. The war you feel inside your mind is not proof that you are weak. It is not proof that you are too sensitive, too broken, or not spiritual enough. And it is not simply a stressful life doing this to you. Many times what you call overthinking is a battlefield, an organized pressure placed against you by an unseen enemy who fears one moment above all others. The moment you stop believing every thought that speaks in your voice. Because the enemy has learned a strategy. He does not always attack you with obvious darkness. He attacks you with noise. He turns your imagination into a factory of fear. He hijacks your God-given discernment and twists it into suspicion. He takes your gift of depth and tries to drown you in it. He whispers lies that sound intelligent, reasonable, even responsible. And that is why you have believed them. They don't arrive wearing horns. They arrive wearing your vocabulary. And I have seen it. I have seen the shadow creep in the second you try to rest. I have seen the mental film begin the moment you try to move forward. One small uncertainty and suddenly your mind builds an entire disaster frame by frame until your chest tightens and your spirit forgets how to breathe. The enemy uses your own creativity against you, hoping you will call it my personality instead of what it truly is. A stronghold trying to build a throne. Hear me, he does not waste arrows on empty fields. He does not schedule assaults for lives with no calling. If there were nothing in you that threatens hell's agenda, the pressure would not be this persistent. The intensity is not your shame, it is often your evidence. The darkness is not winning. The darkness is panicking. Because it senses what I placed inside you. It senses the light you carry. It senses the day you will speak with authority, not just to people, but to your own mind. It senses the moment you become a door for others to walk out of bondage. But I am not saying this to frighten you. I am saying it to free you. Because once you recognize the thief, you stop inviting him to dinner. You have blamed yourself for the noise. You have said something is wrong with me. But the truth is, you are standing near a threshold, and the enemy tries to flood thresholds. He tries to overwhelm you right before you rise because he knows fear is easier to plant when your body is tired. So he keeps you in a cycle, alarm, panic, self-blame, collapse. And then he calls it your identity. But that is a lie. You are not a victim of your thoughts. You are not the prisoner of your mind. Through my spirit, you have authority to pull down what tries to exalt itself against my truth. So now I speak as the Lord of hosts, gentle yet unmovable. That enemy has no legal right to sit on the throne of your mind. The throne belongs to me. The seat of rulership in you was never designed for fear. And when you feel that familiar surge, when your heart races and your mind starts listing disasters, do not bow. Recognize it as an alarm that is often faulty. You do not have to obey it. You do not have to answer it. You do not have to run down every hallway it opens. You can stand still and say, "This thought is loud, but it is not Lord." And listen carefully. My child, this part is not performance. It is warfare when anxiety tugs at you. Do not interpret it as a sign you are failing. Many times it is a sign you are approaching something sacred, something that would shift your life if you stayed steady. Pressure increases near doors. Winds rise near crossings. Yet I have never lost a battle over one of my children. Not once. If you can feel this truth striking your spirit, if you are recognizing the pattern, the thief, the noise, then seal this moment with a spiritual declaration in the comments. My mind belongs to Jesus. Or type Asafi Nezars Binuhar Zemesetin Namarava. As your agreement that what tries to harass you will not rule you, not because numbers are magic, because your agreement is powerful and your confession places your feet on solid ground. You are not breaking, my beloved. You are being trained to become unshakable. And what you are about to learn next is not just that an enemy exists, but how to disarm him without exhausting yourself. Because I do not free you by making you harder. I free you by making you true. My child, you have tried to fight your mind by thinking harder, and it has only made you tired. So I am giving you a different weapon, not made of iron, not made of brute force, a weapon of spirit and truth. Because thoughts are not harmless. Thoughts are seeds. Thoughts are gates. Thoughts are invitations. And the one thing the enemy wants is for you to treat every thought as a fact just because it arrived with urgency. But I tell you, a thought is not a law. A thought must be examined in the light. There are thoughts that enter politely like a guest at the door. They knock with a soft voice. Just consider this. And you let them in because they sound reasonable. But they stay too long. They start rearranging the furniture. They start speaking like they own the house. And suddenly you wake up one day and realize your mind has been occupied by fear, by accusation, by despair, while you kept calling it being realistic. So I teach you a holy skill. Take the thought captive. Not by wrestling it all night, not by panicking about why you have it, but by interrogating it like a soldier at a gate. When a thought says, "You're falling behind," do not bow. Ask it. Says who? When a thought says, "They're going to leave you," do not spiral. Ask it. Is this truth or trauma speaking? When a thought says, "You will never recover," do not submit and ask it. Does this match my word, or does it match the enemy's agenda? And let me make it practical, because your life is not lived in sermons, it is lived in ordinary moments. Sometimes you are finally trying to rest, but your mind replays one sentence someone said last week over and over until you feel judged by a ghost. Sometimes you watch someone else advance and a cold sentence slides into your chest. You'll never catch up. Sometimes you finish a good task and instead of peace, you hear the whisper, "Not enough, not worthy. It will fail anyway." My child, those are not just moods. Those are invasions, and you do not negotiate with invaders. But I am not telling you to become harsh with yourself. I am telling you to become honest. There is a difference. Harshness says, "How dare you think this?" Honesty says, "This is here, but it will not rule." And here is the key. You cannot take captive what you keep calling me. You are not your thoughts. You are the one who hears them. You are not the storm. You are the one who can turn to me inside the storm. So when the noise rises, return to this. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. Your understanding is not evil, but it is limited. And when you lean on what is limited, you collapse under what is heavy. When you lean on me, you are held. Tonight, when your mind tries to sprint ahead, you will practice one holy move. You will pause, and you will bring the thought into my presence. You will not chase it through 1,000 rooms. You will carry it to me like a child, bringing a frightening drawing to a father and saying, "Is this real?" And I will answer you again and again until your nervous system learns what your spirit already knows. You are safe in me, my beloved child. I have watched you try to pray with a throat that feels closed and a mind that refuses to quiet down. I have seen you reach for words and find only sighs. I have seen you lie awake while the room is dark, and yet your thoughts are bright with worry, too bright, too loud, too fast. So listen to me carefully. When your own words run out, I have already given you words that can carry you. They are not random poetry. They are living breath, angels, they are psalms. David knew what it was to panic. He knew what it was to feel hunted, misunderstood, pressured by tomorrow, exhausted by yesterday. He knew what it was to have a body that trembled while trying to keep faith steady. And I was with him the same way I am with you, silent in the right moments, loud in the moments that save a life. You are not the first to shake. You are not the first to feel overwhelmed. And you will not be the first I restore. There are valleys where the air feels heavy, where the future feels like a wall, where your own mind feels like it has turned into an enemy camp. And still, my word has already spoken over that place. Even when you walk through the valley of the shadow of death, you do not need to fear, because I am with you. My rod and my staff will comfort you. Not you will never walk through, but even though you walk through. The valley is a passage, not a prison. The shadow is not substance. The shadow cannot bite. The shadow cannot hold you. It can only try to intimidate you into forgetting the one who walks beside you. So I am teaching you a holy secret that calms a storm without needing to explain the storm. Sometimes peace does not begin with answers. Peace begins with a sound, a cadence, a repeated truth that reshapes the atmosphere inside you. That is why the Psalms are not only scripture, they are a heartbeat. You can borrow when yours feels unstable. When anxiety tries to speed you up, I slow you down with a simple rhythm. Inhale, and let one line enter you. Exhale, and let one lie leave you. You do not have to force anything. You do not have to perform. Just return again and again to the same living sentence until your nervous system learns what your spirit has been trying to remember. I am with you. And yes, I am with you in the small moments too. On the moment you open your phone and feel dread for no reason, and the moment a memory stings, and the moment your chest tightens and your mind starts predicting disaster. I am not watching from above with crossed arms. I am present in the moment your breath changes. Present in the moment your hands shake. Present in the moment your thoughts start racing. That is not shame. That is a signal that you need the heartbeat again. So when the noise returns tonight, or in the morning, or in the middle of an ordinary afternoon, do not argue with it for an hour. Give me 1 minute of Psalms. Let David's words become your weapon and your blanket at the same time. Let praise become the bridge your mind cannot build by itself. Because when your lips carry truth quietly, steadily, the stronghold begins to lose its power to hold you. And I will meet you there, not as a distant God, but as your shepherd, your comfort, your steadying hand in the valley, until the shaking passes and you realize you have been held the whole time. My beloved child, I am not only healing you, I am teaching you how to protect what I am healing. Because peace is not fragile when it is guarded by wisdom. Wisdom is love with boundaries. Wisdom is light with a lamp covering, so the flame does not die in the wind. You have been trying to keep peace while leaving every door open. Every notification, every opinion, every toxic voice, every old memory walking in and out of your mind like they own the place. And then you wonder why your heart cannot rest. But your heart was never created to be a public hallway. Your heart is a sacred place. That is why I said guard your heart above all else, because everything you do flows from it. I did not say guard it because you are weak. I said guard it because it is valuable, because it is the source, because the enemy does not always try to destroy you with one blow. Sometimes he drains you one thought at a time, one careless door at a time, until your strength leaks out and you call it life. There are conversations that sound normal, but afterward your spirit feels bruised. There are videos you can binge, and afterward your mind feels crowded and restless. There are people who do not hate you, but they feed your anxiety because their fear spills everywhere. There are comment sections that don't just waste your time, they rewrite your mood. There are updates you keep checking that are really just altars for worry. I am not condemning you. I am calling you back to authority because boundaries are not punishment. Boundaries are protection. Boundaries are how a chosen flame stays lit in a windy world. Stop right here with me. Not everything that knocks deserves entry. Not every thought that speaks deserves agreement. Not every emotion deserves the steering wheel. And let me place one question in front of you, like a mirror, not to shame you, only to free you. Are you guarding your heart, or have you been imprisoning it? There is a difference, my child. Guarding your heart is wisdom with breath and space. Imprisoning your heart is fear dressed up as safety. Guarding means I will protect the flame so it can live. Imprisoning means I will shut everything down so nothing can touch me. And I did not make you to live shut down. Picture this with me. For a few seconds, imagine you are walking through a dark hallway, holding a small oil lamp. You cannot fight darkness with your bare hands. You cannot punch shadows. You cannot debate them. But if you protect the flame, the darkness has only one option: it retreats. That is wisdom, steady, quiet, powerful. So I am teaching you to protect the flame without losing love. To say yes without betraying your peace. To stay kind without staying exposed. To be present without being consumed. And as you learn this, your mind will begin to feel quieter. Not because life has no problems, but because your heart is no longer living in constant access. Your peace is not an accident. It is a practice with me. And wisdom is the shield I put in your hands, so the restoration I begin in you can remain. My child, darkness does not leave because you wrestle it. Darkness leaves because light arrives. That is the order of creation. That is the law of the Spirit. You cannot hand swipe fear out of your mind the way you swipe a screen, and you cannot brute force peace by thinking harder. But you can do something holy and decisive. You can let truth take the seat. Lies are loud, but they are not lawful. Some lies sound like caution. If you relax, everything will fall apart. Some lies sound like identity. This is just who I am, an overthinker. Some lies sound like prophecy. This will always be your life. But they are still lies because they contradict what I say about you. Here is why truth is so powerful. Truth does not argue, truth reveals. The moment truth rises, the lie loses oxygen. That is why I have not called you to become a person who never feels anxious. I have called you to become a person who can recognize the voice behind the anxiety and refuse its authority. When the spiral starts, do not panic. Do not shame yourself. Do not run 10 miles into tomorrow. Bring the thought into the light. Ask it quietly and firmly. Does this produce peace, or does it produce bondage? Does this sound like my voice, or does it sound like accusation? Does this lead you toward faith or toward paralysis? There is a kind of thinking that is actually just fear rehearsing. It keeps you busy so you don't notice you're bleeding. It feels productive while it steals your strength. But when truth speaks, the narrator changes. Truth sounds like this: I am with you. Truth sounds like this: you are not alone. Truth sounds like this: you are not behind. Truth sounds like this: you are being led even when you cannot see the map. Truth sounds like this: my peace will guard your heart and your mind. And as that truth settles, something almost mysterious happens. Your body begins to respond. Your breath deepens. Your shoulders lower. Your mind starts to unclench. Not because you solved everything, but because you stopped bowing to a false alarm. Hear me with prophetic tenderness. You are learning to live from the throne instead of from the battlefield floor. You are learning to stand inside my presence while thoughts still try to shout. You are learning that the loudest voice is not automatically the truest voice. And in the days ahead, the miracle may not be one dramatic moment. It may be this: you will notice the lie arrive, and you will not follow it. You will feel the spiral begin, and you will step out of it. You will hear the old script, and you will choose a new sentence. That is not small. That is deliverance in motion. When truth is enthroned, peace becomes natural. And when peace becomes natural, your life stops being ruled by fear. My beloved child, come closer. I want you to hear me without the noise. I have seen what you never posted, what you never admitted, what you only carried in silence. I saw you staring at numbers that didn't add up. Not because you were careless, but because life kept demanding more than you had strength for. I saw you doing mental math at midnight, trying to stretch one paycheck across too many needs, trying to make peace with scarcity by thinking harder. And I saw the way your chest tightened when another bill arrived, another responsibility surfaced, another unexpected hit your plans like a wave. But listen to me. Your overthinking did not create provision. It only created pressure. You were never meant to be your own savior. You were never meant to sit on the throne of outcomes, carrying the burden of how as if you could hold the world together with worry. The how belongs to me. I am not blind to the economy. I am not intimidated by the market. I am not limited by what people approve, deny, or delay. I am the God who teaches hands to prosper with wisdom and teaches hearts to rest while they build. And this is what I am doing for you now. I am breaking the spirit of frantic survival that has kept you trapped in just enough. Not by magic tricks, not by reckless promises, but by a holy realignment where truth becomes your foundation. Wisdom becomes your pattern, and favor follows obedience like a shadow. There are doors that closed in front of you, and you called it rejection. Some of those doors were mercy. Some were protection. Some were my hand intercepting a path that would have cost you your peace to gain what you thought you needed. You asked, why did they say no? And I whispered, because the yes I prepared cannot be held in that room. You were not being delayed. You were being redirected. You were not being denied. You were being positioned. I am opening opportunities you cannot manufacture. I am planting ideas that will multiply when you steward them with faith and discipline. I am aligning you with people who do not need to be convinced to honor you. And I am healing the place in you that thought you had to hustle for worth. That is where financial strain becomes more than money. It becomes identity warfare. It tries to teach you that you are only as safe as your savings, only as lovable as your usefulness, only as valued as your output. But I am unteaching the lie. Your value is not a number. Your worth is not negotiable. You are mine. Now let me speak about relationships, because I saw those wounds too. I saw the betrayal that made you question your judgment. I saw the silence of people who used to speak to you every day. I saw you replay conversations, trying to locate the moment it went wrong. I saw you blame yourself for someone else's lack of character. I saw you overthink your tone, your timing, your words, because you thought if you could just perfect yourself, people would stop leaving. My child, hear me, not everyone who walked with you was assigned to your future. Some were seasons. Some were lessons. Some were warning signs wearing familiar faces. And I did not let them exit to punish you. I let them exit to preserve you. I removed certain hands, not because you are hard to love, but because you are too valuable to keep handing your peace to people who mishandle it. And yes, I am restoring. I am restoring the way you trust without making you naive. I am restoring your discernment without making you suspicious. I am restoring your heart without making you hard. Because the goal is not for you to build a wall. The goal is for you to build a life with holy boundaries and holy openness at the same time. I am bringing you connections that feel like breath. People who do not drain you to prove loyalty. People who do not punish you for having emotions. People who can celebrate you without secretly resenting you. People who will not compete with your calling, but will protect it. And some relationships I will restore by healing, others I will restore by replacement. Do not call it loss when I am making room for what is aligned. Now let me speak with authority over both areas, provision and relationships, because the enemy has used both to keep your mind in captivity. He whispers, "You will never have enough." He whispers, "You will always be alone." He whispers, "If you relax, you'll lose everything." But I am telling you now, that voice is not mine. That voice is a thief wearing the mask of realism. I am teaching you to move differently. I am teaching you to seek wisdom instead of panic, obedience instead of obsession, peace instead of prediction. I am teaching you to give where I tell you to give, save where I tell you to save, pause where I tell you to pause, and step where I tell you to step. Because prosperity in my hands is not only money, it is stability, clarity, order, peace in the home, strength in the body, and favor that opens doors at the right time. And the relationships I give you will not just be company, they will be covering, counsel, alignment, and encouragement that strengthens your assignment. So breathe. Let your jaw unclench. Let your shoulders lower. Let your spirit stop arguing with tomorrow. You are not abandoned. You are not forgotten. You are not stuck. You are being led. Now I want you to respond in faith, not because I need proof, but because your heart needs alignment. If this word is landing in you like truth, type in the comments, "I receive wisdom and provision," or simply 1010 as your sign of agreement that a new order is coming to your life. And as a prophetic act of partnership, like this video and subscribe so you can keep hearing my voice daily, not only when the pressure spikes. I want you close. I want you steady. I want you anchored, because the words I speak over you are not empty. They carry peace into your nervous system, strength into your steps, and courage into your decisions. Stay with me. The story is not ending in lack or isolation. It is turning quietly, surely, and more deliberately than you realize. My beloved child, though the season of hiding is ending, not because you suddenly became fearless, but because I have been rebuilding you from the inside, where no one could applaud you. I did not let you walk through the furnace of overthinking just to leave you sitting in the ashes, replaying what went wrong. I watched the pressure, the sleeplessness, the constant inner debating, the mental rehearsals for disasters that never arrived. And I tell you the truth, I do not forge heavy callings in shallow places. I do not shape leaders in comfort alone. What you called too much in you, your sensitivity, your deep perception, your relentless awareness, I have been refining. The enemy tried to turn that gift into a weapon against you. He tried to hijack your imagination and make it a factory of fear. He tried to make your mind a courtroom where you are always on trial. But I have been quietly rewiring your inner world. I am turning the same sensitivity into discernment. I am turning the same intensity into intercession. I am turning the same mind that spiraled into a headquarters of wisdom. Listen to me. I am not only freeing you from overthinking, I am commissioning you through it. Because the person who has wrestled in the dark learns how to carry light without arrogance. The one who has been pressed learns how to pour without wasting. You have been trained in the unseen, and that training is not wasted. Your pain did not disqualify you. Your survival did not make you ordinary. It made you credible. There is a new power I am placing over you now, not loud, not performative, not frantic. It is the power of a quiet mind under my authority. It is the strength to stay steady while everything around you tries to pull you into panic. It is the ability to walk into a room and not be ruled by atmosphere because you carry mine. And yes, the darkness will recognize it. Not because you are perfect, but because you are no longer easily manipulated. Your thoughts will not be a playground for every whisper. Your emotions will not be a chain around your calling. You will feel the difference: fewer arguments with fear, fewer hours lost to mental loops, more clarity when decisions appear, more courage when resistance rises. And I will bring people to you quietly, providentially, who are standing where you once stood. They will be trapped in what if paralyzed by, if only exhausted by the pressure to control outcomes. When you look at them, you will not see a project. You will see a life. You will recognize the tremor behind the smile, the loneliness behind the competence, the ache behind the "I'm fine." And you will know what to carry and what to release, because I carried you the same way. You will speak with tenderness and authority at the same time. You will not shame them for struggling. You will show them the exit. Do not misunderstand me. This mission is not about you becoming a savior. It is about you becoming available, a vessel, a bridge, a lighthouse. Some will receive it. Some will resist it. But you will not take their reactions as your identity, because your identity is anchored in me. That is part of your new power too. And when the doors begin to open, and they will open in ways you could not force, do not rush as if you are still chasing safety. Walk in with the dignity of someone I prepared. Let your yes be clean. Let your no be peaceful. Let your pace be guided. The wilderness produced a maturity in you that will keep you safe in promotion. You are not stepping into a spotlight to be consumed. You are stepping into purpose to serve. You are not the person you were when this battle began. You have been made steady. You have been made discerning. You have been made fireproof in the place that used to burn you. And now I am sending you forward not to perform, but to carry my presence in ordinary places with extraordinary impact. My precious child, come into stillness with me for a moment. Not the kind of stillness that feels empty, my stillness. The kind that quiets the alarms inside you. The kind that separates truth from noise. The kind that reminds your nervous system it is not alone. I have watched you fight battles you never told anyone about. I have seen the way your mind tried to protect you by predicting every possible outcome, as if anticipation could prevent pain. I have seen how you carried responsibility until it turned into anxiety, and anxiety until it turned into exhaustion, And I'm telling you now, your mind is not meant to be a battlefield forever. I am placing my peace over you like a royal seal, not as a temporary mood, not as a fragile calm that shatters when something goes wrong, but as an authority that stands guard. The enemy has used the same cycle for too long. A thought enters it, grows loud, it multiplies, it becomes a story, and the story becomes a prison. But I am breaking the pattern at the root. I am cutting the loop. I am shutting the door that fear keeps sneaking through. You will still have thoughts, but thoughts will no longer rule you. You will still feel emotions, but emotions will no longer drive you. Peace will become your filter. Truth will become your anchor. My voice will become the loudest voice again. Some of the warfare you felt was not because you were weak. It was because your assignment is real. The enemy attacks what threatens him. He targets minds that could become weapons of light. He tries to keep you in fog because clarity makes you dangerous, dangerous to lies, dangerous to cycles, dangerous to the patterns that enslaved your family line. But hear me, I did not rescue you to bring you back into the same cage with better decorations. I rescued you to make you free. This is how you will recognize the seal when fear returns with its old script. It will meet resistance inside you. Not because you are forcing it, but because something has changed in your core. You will catch the thought before it builds a throne. You will notice the lie before it becomes identity. You will pause, breathe, and remember, that is not my voice. And in that pause, I will meet you. In that pause, I will strengthen you. In that pause, your peace will hold. Let the truth sink deeper than the noise. You are not designed to live in constant alert. You are not created to be ruled by imaginary disasters. You are not meant to punish yourself with endless analysis. You are a beloved child, not a machine. And I am a father, not a distant observer. So receive this as a decree over your inner world. Your mind is becoming a place of clarity again, a place of creativity again, a place of rest again. Not because life becomes perfect overnight, but because I am teaching you to live from my presence instead of from panic. I am teaching you to stand on solid ground while the wind passes. And when the night tries to return with its familiar pressure, when the old heaviness creeps in like a shadow, remember this: shadows cannot win a room that is filled with light. You do not have to wrestle the darkness with your hands. Stay close to me. Let my peace be the guard at the door of your thoughts. Let my truth be the ruler of your attention. You are not fighting alone, and you are not going back. My beloved child, this is not an ending. This is a threshold. I have placed an open door in front of you, not the kind of door you must break down with striving, but the kind that opens when you stop carrying what was never yours. You have spent so long trying to survive your own mind that you forgot you were created to live, to love, to build, to bless, to walk steady. Now you will learn a new rhythm, my rhythm. There is a sacred timing to what I do in your life. You called it delay, but I call it protection. You called it silence, but I call it alignment. There were things you begged for that would have crushed you in an earlier season. There were relationships you clung to that would have drained you until you could no longer hear me. There were yes moments you thought you missed, yet I was guarding you from entering a room that would have cost you your peace. I am teaching you to hear me without strain, not by chasing signs and panic, not by decoding every coincidence and fear, but by living close enough that you recognize my whisper. You were made for communion, not confusion. And as your mind becomes quieter, your spirit becomes sharper. You will begin to sense what is from me and what is merely loud. You will begin to recognize the difference between urgency and assignment. You will begin to feel when something is aligned, even before it makes sense. There is more I will show you. There are layers of healing that unfold like dawn, not like a switch. There are patterns you will unlearn gently, and there are chains that will break suddenly. Some changes will be dramatic, some will be quiet. But do not despise the quiet. Some miracles enter your life as peace first, then clarity, then courage, then provision. And I want you to do one thing as you step forward from here. Not as a performance, not as pressure, as love. If you know even one person whose mind is exhausting them, someone trapped in overthinking, someone spiraling at night, someone quietly drowning behind a strong face, share this message with them. Send it as a lifeline. Let it land in their hands like a warm light in a dark room. You do not need a perfect speech to help them. Sometimes the most powerful ministry is simply placing the right word in front of the right heart at the right time. I will use what you share. I will breathe through it. I will meet them there the way I met you here. Now go with peace that does not depend on circumstances. Go with a mind that is learning rest. Go with a heart that is no longer ruled by fear. I am not releasing you into emptiness. I am leading you into purpose. And I will be with you, steady, present, close, right in your first thought tomorrow morning. Amen.